Hello, everyone. If you were listening on the day this is released, it's Thanksgiving 2025.
It's Thanksgiving.
And we wanted to bring you an episode worthy of the spirit of gratitude, togetherness, and a few controversial opinions, maybe.
Wow.
That we've come to expect from this holiday. There's always that person that shows up
I see where you're going.
Has some opinions that you're like, look, we don't need to talk about this here. Yeah. Maybe we have some of those today. I don't know. We're happy to have Sarah Schlueter in the studio with us today as well. Welcome, Sarah. Always love having you on the show. Today we're riffing on Thanksgiving before, in the spirit of the show, discussing the technology that we are thankful for, both in our professional and personal lives. You also hear from some of our colleagues and friends around the channel on their opinions of thankful technology.
Nice.
And we're also reflecting on the fact that this is the 250th episode.
What? Get out of town. Yeah, we need confetti. We need streamers. We need
just shot it all over, and then Marco had to clean it up.
Exactly.
See you, Marco.
Yeah.
Or even better, because we're recording another podcast a little bit later today. We've still been strewed everywhere.
Streamers everywhere for 251.
Would have looked a little strange for our next guest. Yeah.
Love it.
So there we go. That's what we got coming up today.
Nice.
It should be a fun, exciting episode.
Absolutely.
Great to listen to on your way to Thanksgiving feast, while you're there, or while you're half comatose after downing a bunch of turkey and whatever else you enjoy on the day.
That's right.
So I'm John Martin.
I'm Sarah Schlueter.
And I'm Dean Reverman.
Welcome to BlueStar Nation. BlueStar Nation is brought to you by ELO. From self-order and self-checkout to visitor check-in, self-service kiosks allow customers to take control of their experience. You guys like take control of your experience?
Yes, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all about me. I got to take control of my experience. Please continue.
Dean's progressively just everything going through his head over time.
I was trying to be like the next generation. It's all about me.
Oh, there you go.
Picking on some of the young
now
ones
you're
around
throwing
here.
younger folks under
That
the
goes
bus.
two generations further down now.
Yeah, that's a
Gen
good
Z,
point.
Gen Alpha, or whatever they're called. I don't know.
Me.
Schlueter's practically an elder at this point.
She is.
I am.
She totally
Come
is.
on,
Yeah.
All right, well, this is not what ELO wanted us to talk about.
Okay,
today.
great.
So,
Fair enough.
With ELO's versatile and modular product offerings, businesses can create innovative solutions that adapt to meet consumers' changing behavior. Whether you're looking for compute, a touchscreen to navigate into a kiosk, or to integrate into a kiosk, maybe navigate into one too. I don't know what that is.
Navigate.
Or a fully built self-service kiosk solution, ELO can support it all. They work with partners across the industry, including kiosk manufacturers and ISVs, as well as payment integrators and VARs. ELO's self-service options help restaurants, retailers, hospitality, healthcare, visitor management, and more to improve operations, focus on the customer experience, and increase profits. Check out the array of ELO self-service products at the link in our show notes, or contact the BlueStar team to create the perfect solution for your customers' needs. All right, guys, let's get into it here.
Yup.
I wanted to start off just by talking about Thanksgiving in general.
Oh.
We've had episodes. We've had a Halloween-themed episode.
Yes.
We've talked about Christmas, I think, on the show before.
Yes.
I don't know if we've really talked about Thanksgiving. So I'm just curious from you guys, what's your take on Thanksgiving? What's your vibe? Do you like the holiday? Do you not like it? What's some of your things about Thanksgiving that you have thoughts on your minds about?
Sarah,
Ooh.
your opinion?
Gosh, this is going to be unpopular, and I feel like, John, you're already going to get mad at me because I feel like you said something the other day, but Thanksgiving is like, I'm just there for the food. Let's get through it. Let's be thankful. Christmas is next. Let's get it out of the way.
Wow.
I'm ready to jump in.
Thanksgiving erasure.
Yeah, I'm
Don't stand for
I'm
it.
kind of one of those people.
Wow.
My tree's already been up for a while.
Whoa, no, it has not.
Yeah, like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Bro, come on.
I think
What are we doing?
I think we're kind of in a minority about this though, because we had this conversation on a
doing?
call with a bunch of our other colleagues the other day, and most of them were saying, "Oh, we already got Christmas stuff up, already doing it."
No, this is my
Yeah.
youngest daughter. Did the same thing. She's got a little tree in her.
Yeah, it's
I'm like,
just,
what? No.
Tis the season. It's
No,
not
it's not.
like we're not.
No, it's not.
The season starts
You're
like after
creating
Halloween.
your own illusion. Oh wait,
Yes.
we're post Halloween, and then it's going to be post July 4th. What?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Christmas in July.
Well, I say
Yeah.
we already do that. People,
True.
Christmas stuff has already been up since way before Halloween.
It has, like,
it was already out
August.
there. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
So you just want to get through this as a means to get to Christmas.
I want the food. I want the family. I want to be together. I want us to all eat a nice meal. And then next day, I'm like, all right, where's Christmas?
Do you like the food?
Love the food.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm all in for the food. If the food wasn't there, then I mean,
well, okay. I mean, I'll give you that. That's 90% of the reason I like
that's
Thanksgiving.
the American in me.
It's because of the food. Yeah, exactly. I would be thankful later. There's plenty of time for me to be thankful.
Let's eat.
Yeah. What about you, Dean? What's your?
Oh, there's certain aspects of it I love, and certain aspects of it that maybe not so much. So
I feel like I want to hear more about the part.
Well, I love the day because actually the day we have a little bit of a tradition that we started in our family. And we go out and we do one of these turkey trots. We do a 5K. Nice. So, or actually we used to do a 10K.
Those people, huh?
Exactly. But so there's some incentive here, right? So the first time I tried to get the kids involved was very difficult. And the incentive is, okay, if you do this 5K, we will then go to Dunkin' to get donuts. And we will go to White Castle's to get sliders. So that is the complete package now. So so we go out 8 o'clock in the morning. We're doing a 5K run and or walk. Actually, Aiden's going to try to do the 10K this year. So that, all good. We'll be done around 9 in the morning, and then we will hit Dunkin', and then we will hit White Castle, and we will feast on that. So that has become a little bit of a tradition. I look forward to it.
When do you have your actual Thanksgiving feast?
Now that will so usually the oven fires up because we'll have like 26 people over on Thanksgiving.
So you're the host.
So
typically.
Yes, we're a host. It's a big day at the Reverman House for Thanksgiving. So Patty will already she'll have the bird going or whatnot. So when we get back, it actually begins to smell like Thanksgiving.
Which is
very
awesome.
nice.
Yeah, you gotta love that.
She's, the potatoes are going, the whole thing is going. And we'll actually do 3 birds for Thanksgiving. We do one traditionally in the oven. We do one in the smoker, and then we do one that's deep fried. If you'd like to come over, by the way, come on over.
We're going to have leftover turkey, it sounds like.
That's how into this we are. So all that I just mentioned, I love about the holiday. It's awesome. We are not the clan, though, that sits around and watches football. Do you sit around and watch football? Anybody in your clan?
We put it on the TV, but we don't sit in front of it and watch it. It's just background noise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you? Because I want to get asked. Did you say what time you typically eat?
We eat. Oh, that's a good question. We don't eat until like 6:30 or so.
See, because I was saying you were talking about the Dunkin' and White Castle thing, and see
that's got to sit for a while.
Yeah, you gotta let that.
We go to my wife's family's typically for Thanksgiving. Then we usually have my mom over for a separate one the day after, and they are typically the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock ready for the feast.
Oh my!
So we typically
early.
We don't touch breakfast on that day.
Right.
Like you don't want to do that to yourself and then try to go, start feasting on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's why I was curious because you said that, and I'm like, okay, that almost indicates you have to have more of an evening event.
Yeah, no, it's an evening
at that
event.
Point.
Totally.
What about you? Do you typically do midday, late day?
It's like 4 to 5 p.m., but my dad will usually make like a breakfast that morning, but it's super early. It's like waffles, sausage, potatoes. Because usually my brother and all his kids come into town, and then it's like you all starve yourselves until 4 to 5 p.m.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like
that. You want to be ready to eat as much as possible.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, do you spend the night back over at your parents? Because one of the things I love about it, our older kids now come back and they will sleep that night so that they're there in the morning. I love that.
Yeah. That's fun.
That's
a fun aspect of it.
Right? Because I miss that. Even though they all fight and whatever, they come down all curmudgeoned in the morning and in bad moods and whatever.
Their parents are sitting there smiling at them like, what are you guys smiling at?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're all just bubbling, gleaning. Yes. Now, back to the food. You say you like the food. That's actually one of the parts of this I don't like.
Really?
I don't like the food. I'm not a fan of turkey. I'm not a huge fan of stuffing.
The 250th last episode of this podcast, I think, at this point. Come on. We're going to get canceled for that take.
What?
And even more, I'm going to take it up a notch because I really, as much as I don't really like Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, I hate leftovers. Like the leftover, and I know you should. If you can't see it, the shock face on Sarah right now is off the chart. Yes, because and this is Patty and I are exact 180s on all of this. This is her favorite meal of the year. Period. Full stop.
Yeah,
she loves the leftovers too, and she will make bags of it, and the kids all get back. And we intentionally make so much of this food so that everybody's going home with like massive amounts of leftovers. And I look at leftovers, I'm like, I'm not touching because they're around for like a week. We've got turkey sandwiches and stuffing and oh my gosh.
It's so versatile though. You can make so much stuff with it.
No, it tastes
I will admit I will get burned out on leftovers after a while. Like we've kind of reached a point where I don't tend to take much.
My burnout starts immediately.
Okay. Like I don't tend to take a lot of leftovers, and if you take too many, you are going to get burned out on them. But I still like that aspect of it though.
So you like the food?
I do. I mean, that is to me.
You look forward to this.
Yes.
Yes.
I love the 9 p.m. reheat. You're like, man, I think it's ruining my stomach again.
Right?
Let's reheat some food.
That's why I like how we do the early afternoon.
I know.
Version.
You're normal people.
Because we're done. You have that time to kind of rest and relax, and you maybe put some football on. Everybody sitting around, just goofing around, talking. Start maybe talking about Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're right. Late in the day, then we'll go home. Yeah. And then it's like, let's fire up some
sandwich,
some leftovers,
like a quick sandwich or a quick turkey sandwich is very popular in our
or
place.
whatever.
Patty's got an uncle that he's just known for. Yeah, around 9 o'clock. Oop, turkey sandwich is coming out. Lots of mayonnaise.
Is this like a leftovers in general, or
leftovers in general? Yes.
Okay.
I am not a leftover fan.
A little more
period.
fair, but
like I will.
I guess
it is
get that.
rare that I will have any type of leftover. Spaghetti, maybe. Pizza, cold pizza, okay. Anything else? No. Hard no.
Interesting.
Yeah. I know. I've so disappointed you, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your feelings on ham at that
I like ham. So I'm a ham guy.
To me, a ham is a Christmas thing.
I know. Right.
And honestly, if you told me I could have turkey on Christmas, I would prefer that
Same.
too.
Yeah, I'm not a ham.
Not the roast beast or the ham.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll take a ham. It's fine. We've like the last few years. Usually, we host at my house for Christmas.
Yeah,
and we usually get a honey baked ham for that. But I also will get like a little turkey loaf as well because I just want to have some of that turkey. But like the ham's great. But I still I like having that.
Now,
turkey.
of all the fixings, which one's your favorite? So we got turkey, we got potato of some sort, we got stuffing, we got cranberries.
I'm not a cranberry guy.
Okay, no. Do we even put it on our plate?
No.
No.
I want to touch everything.
So I'll take the cranberry. That's actually one of my favorite things about the meal.
Can't reheat cranberries, so you can't have it as leftovers. That's why he likes it.
Dang, you know me.
I do like a good green bean casserole.
Oh yes,
which that's often one of the things I'll typically make, and I love a green bean casserole. I've been making sweet potato casserole for the last couple of years,
with or without marshmallows on the top.
No, but it'll have a crumble thing with like pecans and brown sugar.
Yeah,
like, it's the super sweet.
Okay,
Like that's why I enjoy that.
All right.
Now I love a good stuffing, but I will. My wife probably don't ever listen to this. She probably never listens to any of these podcasts. Her family's stuffing, and it's well known that I'm not a fan. They do like a Southern style, like cornbread style stuffing.
Ooh, really?
That is, there's not any like meat to it. Like it's almost like a porridge kind of thing.
Oh, really?
Sort of.
That's
weird. No,
like
I wouldn't like
porridge
that.
is kind of how I would
yeah,
describe
okay.
it.
No.
Not.
That's not
can't-
stuffing.
Every year they bring that. I'm just like, nope. I had it the first time that we all got together. And
Porridge.
immediately was like, this is not for me. This is not my version of stuffing. I like the stovetop style.
Yes. Yes.
And I've made homemade stuffing before with the bread, and which I was reading a real interesting article today that apparently sourdough is considered one of the best options for making a good
I
stuffing.
couldn't believe
Which
that.
I've never tried that, but I love sourdough
so big
bread.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I was going to ask, do you like the stuffing in the bird or do you like it out of? We make so much stuffing that you can have either one.
Yeah, I'm okay with the in the bird version.
In the bird, yeah. I think that's a little better actually.
Good.
It's generally.
My stepdad used to make a version, which
Porridge.
I did not
Not
love
porridge,
as much.
though.
He would actually take all the stuff that comes in the bird. When you get the bird, like the
The
gizzard
giblets
and the
all that,
liver and the giblets, whatever. He would chop all that up and put that in the stuffing.
Ooh, wow.
Which not my favorite part of it. Like if it's properly cooked, it can be okay. But sometimes it was like a little too like tough and rubbery.
Yeah,
it's just like, nope.
I just never liked staring at the pile when they would gut the turkey.
Yeah,
it's like that stuff sits around for like an hour. I'm like, can someone get rid of that? Like that's disgusting to
Can we
look
do
at.
something with that?
Yeah. Why is this
Do
hanging
you have
out?
a dog or something like that, or a cat that's like super excited about that part of it?
Yeah. Well, not. I mean, we had outside dogs and cats growing up, so it's like. It just sat around, I guess, until someone's like, "Oh, I guess we could throw this out the door."
No, we get rid of that immediately. Like, get
it's
that
gross.
out.
Gone.
Yeah. So do you do deep fry a turkey? No. Have you ever had a deep fried turkey?
Yes. It's been a long time. Back at an old job I had, we used to have a big Thanksgiving feast amongst the departments or whatever, and there was at least one or two guys that would deep fry a turkey and bring it over. We'd have usually like 4 or 5 turkeys.
They're so good.
And someone would do like a brine one. There was like a great like sea salt brine one that somebody did that was amazing.
Lefty, no?
I've
never had?
Never had
You
deep fried
people,
turkey.
come on now.
Smoked turkey and like oven, but that's it.
Yeah.
Never had deep fried turkey.
Well, okay, so of
It's-
the
it's
turkey,
good.
it's
It's
my
interesting.
favorite. It is juicy. It is so good.
Yeah.
It is so good if you do it right. Yeah. I highly recommend.
But you're gonna eat it, and then you're never gonna eat it again.
I
You're gonna
know.
eat a little
Yeah.
portion.
I know. I'm going to have a
and
little
it's
portion
gone.
of it. I have a
I made this
we call it
amazing turkey. Now throw it in the garbage.
Done. Throw it out with the other gizzards and stuff we took out at whatever that's liver.
Now, hold on. I may have been a little bit too overt. I will eat the meal. I'm just saying it's not my favorite meal.
Okay.
Right? And that, yes, after I'm done, there's no leftovers.
But what's
or
your
anything
time?
Like that.
Like, what's the elapsed time that you'll no longer touch the Thanksgiving food on the day of like?
Within an hour. Within an hour. It's like after it's done and I've done the dishes, because I do the dishes, like after I'm done with the dishes, now everything is considered a leftover to me.
Man.
You know?
I was going to throw your address into the show notes if people wanted to come by, but now I'm just
You
like,
want to egg Dean's house?
I mean, if you do, you got to make sure you show up on time. You show up late and Dean's just scraped it all into the trash.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like,
Yeah. Well, you're going to be eating leftovers at that point, which is fine. You know, like, some people obviously love this stuff. I've totally offended Sarah at this point.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm baffled.
I'm baffled. Oh, man.
all right, good stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
there's See, I told you there'd be some controversial
A little bit of
opinions.
controversy,
just like a
Wait,
good
but
Thanksgiving.
for you, you're a big Thanksgiving. You ready to get?
Yeah, what's your vibe?
Yeah.
You love the...
I enjoy it because I like I think we've hosted maybe once, like the full family Thanksgiving. Maybe I don't know if we actually did it, but I don't enjoy because this part of it is because I'm typically the cook for a lot of stuff around the house. So cooking a Thanksgiving meal is very stressful.
Yes, it is.
Even if you're only doing a small bit of it or whatever. Like I have nothing but appreciation for whoever's the person that is cooking the turkey and doing and the hosting
Timing
and doing
it
the
all.
bulk of that work. Right. That part of it's not fun. But what I've always liked about the holiday is the idea of like, I don't have to mess with this. I can just whip up one dish that they want me to bring or two or whatever it is. And then all I got to do is show up, set my dish down, grab a plate and eat. And the rest of the day is just all about relaxing. There's not a lot of stress behind it other than that. Like, like Christmas, don't get me wrong, I've learned to appreciate Christmas again because of having a kid. That has a lot to do with what can make Christmas a different experience.
For sure.
But there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's like you're doing stuff maybe at home, and then you got to go somewhere else, and you got all the gifts to tote around, you got to clean up.
It's
and
work.
Blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of work that goes there. I feel like Thanksgiving is a lot more low key. Again, if you're not the one hosting and cleaning up everything and having to put everything away, it's a lot more low key where you can just kind of show up and just enjoy it all.
Now, what's your take on people that will just buy the dinner? Like
okay
not
with that.
even making any of it. It's just purchased straight out.
I'm okay with that. I mean, it's it defeats a little bit of I think of like the family tradition part of it sometimes. But I admit like we've
But the easy button,
it's
nice for that.
and we've started doing that when my mom comes over now.
Okay.
Because it's just her by herself will come over. So now like we usually will go to like Bob Evans or something and just order up their Thanksgiving feast and it's great food and simple and easy, again, not a lot of stress on us to have to, put everything together. And she enjoys it too. So, I will say there is something to be said for that. I don't know if like it feels weird to kind of do that if you're doing it for like a big family,
right? Yeah,
get together kind of thing. And I would think most families have their own traditions and special dishes or whatever. But but whatever, if it's the easiest way for you to do it and it makes the most sense, then go for it. There's some good stuff out there. You can, trust some other amazing chefs to make some good stuff for you.
Well, getting back,
You don't run the risk of like someone burning something and ruining the whole thing because you overcook the turkey or whatever.
That's why we do 3. I mean, the chances of us like messing up 3 of them, it's
you do
like
have some backup plans.
We got
yeah.
backup. Yeah. But we're full Griswolds because like the table that we do, it's the full like all 25 people are around the same. We do the the rinkety card tables that are like on the end.
Yeah.
We have had to augment with the kids set from time to time, but it's like from the living room through the dining room. Which you have a good setup for that. I've been in your house. You have a nice setup for that kind of. It's nice long.
Yep.
You can get like 12 people to a side when you do it that way. So it's like
fun.
we break out into. No, I'm just kidding. We don't break out into song. but it's very much that. Anyway.
All right. Any final takes on Thanksgiving?
No.
Any more reasons to cancel Dean?
But if you want some
canceled.
leftovers, come on over. Yeah.
Yeah, Dean's canceled.
But again, show up the day of because he's not going to have any time
nothing
after
will be
that.
left.
Come on over. We got White Castles in the morning. We got turkey, but by 8:00 it's leftovers, and I'm throwing it away. So you better hurry.
That's awful.
I am very grateful though,
So sad.
Yeah.
even though I may not like the meal the best.
I'm grateful for this. Now get out.
Now get out.
And take your
There it
leftovers
is.
with you.
That's right. That's right.
All right, well, let's pivot into our tech part of this episode. We have to
Yes,
talk
right.
about technology in some way before we can, we can't justify as an episode if we don't somehow
We're
talk
techie
tech.
people. Yeah.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
act like that.
So we thought that this was kind of the impetus for this, is this idea of, I figured, hey, it's the 250th episode, and it's going to land on Thanksgiving. I've really had to actually engineer the schedule to make this happen and work out this way. But I figured, hey, why don't we talk about some tech that we're thankful for? So I figured let's start off, first of all, with kind of more of the personal life, our day-to-day life, the stuff that gets us through.
Yes.
And just maybe makes life better or more fun or easier for us. Schlueter, kick us off here. What's some tech you're thankful for in your daily life?
Okay, so we can all round table on this because my first one was, smartphones, but then I was like, let's get into the components of what I'm thankful for in smartphones.
Because there's a lot to not be thankful for about smartphones,
True.
too.
So we can all riff on this. So a few things I put specifically is FaceTime, caller ID.
Okay,
yeah,
I'll give you that.
I'll take that
Yeah.
one.
That's a good one.
That was
That's
a game
huge.
changer, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Talk to text, Face ID, and then my two, like the photo storage you can get, and then just having a notes app on a phone.
Yeah.
Like if I would have had the amount of times I remember before I had a smartphone there was probably a place in the phone, but you didn't really discover much else outside the phone of like talk and text.
Yeah.
So you'd have to find a piece of paper to write something down. Now it's like you just make a note in your phone and can go back to it or whatever.
Yeah.
So those were a few of mine smartphone wise. So I don't know if you guys have any to add to that.
I like him. It is fascinating. I didn't smartphone like holistically. It's a big topic. I like how you've broken it down because it does so many things now when you think about it. Even just a little flashlight app. It's like,
True.
I use it. I just used it yesterday because
When was the
Tori
last time you
dropped
pulled
something.
out an actual flashlight?
Never. I mean, it's
gosh.
been forever since I did that.
It's pretty rare. You need it.
But I took Tori to school. It's dark out. She dropped something on the seat and she's rummaging around. We both like boop, boop, boop. We got our flashlights going and stuff like that. I do like the caller ID. That is like such a game changer in this world where like if you get your number out and everybody starts getting it, it's like, oh my Lord.
Yep.
Who is this? And it even says potential spam.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not answering that phone until I know exactly who it is.
There is a new feature recently. This has been around on Android for a while, I don't know, but on iPhones it's fairly new, where now you can actually see the message preview too. I love that. Like when someone's leaving you a voicemail, you can actually watch them as they're leaving the voicemail and decide if you want to pick up and jump. Like you can actually pick up into the call.
Yep.
Because like that was one of those things back in the day of landline phones. If you had a answering machine, you could hear the person leaving a message and you could decide if you wanted to pick up and talk to them during that, which to this day my mom still thinks is how that works. So she'll leave me voicemails and she'll think that I'm picking up and someone's be like, John,
you getting this?
Like no,
I can't hear you.
I'm literally not hearing you.
That's hysterical.
But I can now actually watch her leaving the voicemail in real time and make the
John?
decision. Do I need to intervene right now, or is
just
this
let
a call
her
I
sit.
can just wait on? So I do think that is a neat new feature that I very much appreciate. Alongside the whole caller ID thing, where if you are screening a call and see a number that you're not familiar with and you can ignore it, but then if potentially it's something that you did want to answer and need to answer, you have that opportunity to still jump in there.
Yeah,
I think
because
that's
even
pretty
sometimes it can like identify a number for what it believes it to be,
Yeah,
like the business or whatnot. But I like how it tells you like potential spam or spam risk, robocall, whatever.
Yep.
But I think that like a very underrated thing, but like one of the biggest differentiators when telephone technology kept getting better. I mean, even if you had like, for the longest time, we just had a cord phone in our house. So if someone's calling, you only could rely on the answering machine to know who it was. But then when you would get the phones that had caller ID, back when people still memorized numbers, you'd be like, oh, that's Aunt Sue.
Right.
Okay, I can answer that. Or that's Mom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add on to that if I can, because we'll stay in the phone world. Waze or any kind of navigation. Holy moly. I mean, when you think about what I use daily, that is daily. And like, I don't know how I couldn't get to work because like I have a long commute. So there's the opportunity that something's wrong in between me and work, like some kind of crash or detour or something. Pretty high. So I love the fact that I can now navigate that and not just, blindly start going down the road where I normally would and get stuck in traffic somewhere. I really, really like those.
Have you heard people have some backlash about that sometimes, the idea of like, are we letting like the Waze and the various, GPS apps or whatever prevent us from understanding how to get around on our own and function on our own without?
Oh, that's
Which
good.
there is a point. I get the point. And it's funny because literally my son called me out on this once. Like we were in the car once and like I punched in the GPS to go somewhere and he's like, Daddy, like we know how to get there. Like, don't you know how to get there without that? And I was like, I do. I'm like, but in like Waze, for example, like it's more or less to reroute me if there's issues, or if there's traffic, or just alerts and stuff I need to know. It's like,
where are the cops? I want to know where the cops are.
Yeah, exactly. I know how to get there, but this will give me the most efficient way there if for some reason something's going to slow me down. Because I've learned over time not to ignore the Waze. Even when I think I know better and I'm like, whatever, like, I don't need to go that way. If Waze is telling me to go that way, it's telling me for a reason.
I agree.
And every time that I've ignored it and been like, no, I know what I'm doing, I've always been like, damn it, Waze was right. Shouldn't have gone this way. There's an accident here, and I should have, I shouldn't have come this way or something like that.
We need a word for that, Waze confrontation or Waze boxing or something like that, because I'm with you. It'll say go this way, and I would say 1 out of 4 times I'm right. So 3 out of 4 times Waze is right. So it is like, oh man, Waze was right, darn it. I shouldn't have gone this way. But all you need is that one time of I beat Waze.
You're right.
I outsmarted Waze.
You get that doubt in your mind.
Exactly.
Like maybe it's wrong more
because Waze
this.
takes you down some really obscure streets.
It does.
Like,
especially if you're in places that you're not familiar with.
100%.
I've been down some sketchy areas where I'm just like, I don't know if I should be here right now.
Dude, when I was
But they're right. It's the right way,
It is. I was driving to Chicago once, and it took me down some streets. I'm like, what? Where are we going? I'm like, I'm not in Gary, Indiana. It's like, where am I right now? Yeah. Do you use Waze and stuff like that?
That's the only one I use. Anytime I've used Apple or Google Maps, I feel like they just move in a circle and like it's like 5 seconds too late before I thought I was taking a right, but it was actually telling me to go left. Like it doesn't orient itself as quickly as Waze does. And just the way you go down sketchy streets. Like the other day, there was an accident and like traffic was stopped and on my way home. So then I'm like, okay, where do I need to go? I went down every suburb, little street area, and it dropped me out the back of a highway, and I was home in like 5 seconds.
Wow. Right?
So, and I'm like, I have no idea where I'm at, but I'm just going to keep
trusting the process.
So what are you saying? Some people are arguing that we're getting too used to using it?
There's a debate that the idea is that like if
it's
you're
so much
using
better
it all the time,
than... Because you and I are old enough to understand, like, how do I get there? I remember the days, it was all on landmarks.
Yeah.
Like, you go to this street, and there's going to be a Shell station. Exactly. And then you're going to get down to Bob's Rugs. And if you hit Bob's Rugs, you've gone too far. So it's like, oh, my God. And you're writing all this stuff down on a napkin, and then it's...
Well, even then, the next progression, the MapQuest, which, by the way, you're going to hear someone mentioned a little bit later in the podcast as well. But when you get to the MapQuest part of things, that was a problem, too. Because
but you
then
got to print it out.
You had a printout that you had to reference. So you're like trying to drive, and you're like... Because back to your point about Chicago, like I used to have friends in Chicago that I would go visit at least once or twice a year.
All right.
And this was pre-GPS days.
Yep.
And I remember printing out MapQuest to like tell me where to go. And one, obviously, you would always hit the problem of like, well, I just ran into some traffic and got stopped for 2 hours.
Exactly, yeah.
Because I didn't know the right way to go. And I only have these directions. I can't go off my course here because if I do, I literally won't know where I'm going. But I also, I remember just like having to like consult that. You're driving, you're like, wait a minute, oh crap, I got to turn here, and like it couldn't have been good for driving either because you're grabbing your sheet and trying to look at it while you're trying to figure out what exit you need to take. And suddenly jumping off a ramp in front of like 5 other cars,
I got one more on the phone while we're there.
Though.
Yeah. Banking has has made my life so much easier because I remember writing checks out. I cannot tell you the last time Well, actually, I guess I can because I had to write a check out for school. But it only happens like once or twice a year now that I'm paying a bill via check. It's all.
I love that the banks still try to sell you on free checking as being a big deal too. My wife and I just had to
They're
go.
so antiquated, bro.
My wife and I just went to the bank to we were depositing a bunch of yard sale money. We did a yard sale, so we're depositing a bunch of that cash, and then they started talking. It's like, well, hey, do you know your account could be like a little bit of a better account if we just upgrade it? And they're like, is there fees? We're like, no, but you could get a little more interest on your money or whatever. Like, it's one of those things where we've reached a point in our savings.
Free checking.
Yeah, we've reached a point in our savings where they're looking at us. They're like, we need to make more off of you. Like, we want you to put your money somewhere else. So we're like, yeah, sure, why not? But then, in the process, so just so you know, this has free checking. And I'm like, how is that a selling point in 2025? Right. We look at us. We're not in our 70s. We don't write checks. It's not a thing people do anymore. But whatever. If you think that's so special. Well, but I agree. The online banking, on your phone or whatever, being able to deposit checks.
Yep.
That's
how awesome
a game
is
changer.
that?
Yeah.
That is amazing. Move money around between accounts with ease. That stuff's,
You know how much one pack of checks is though now? Because I'm not kidding. Last week I bought new checks.
What?
$36.95.
Oh my!
For a thing of checks that I will probably use 4 out of it, and they'll sit and sit and sit.
That's
but
ridiculous.
I needed them because there's a bill I have to pay by check. I'm like, who are you?
And God forbid you change
this?
addresses, and then you have the wrong ones, and you either just got to scribble it out or write your new one in.
Yeah.
Or you got to buy new ones, get new ones
$40
again.
That's crazy.
For checks.
That's crazy.
That makes no sense.
No. That's crazy. And then these transfer fees, you're only allowed a certain amount of transfers. At least on my daughter's account. So that it makes me angry. It's like, what? No, all we're doing is going into an app and saying transfer from here to here. This costs you no money. This is all just virtual stuff.
Yes.
Oh no, we have to charge you $3 a transaction now for that. It's like,
I feel like mine used to be weird where it was you can get 3 transfers. And if you do all 3 before the 15th of the month, then it's fine. But after the 15th, if you want to do 2 more transfers, I don't want to transfer. I'm not going to transfer anything. This is weird.
Yeah, anyway. What else you got?
Okay, so smartphone wise, and then my other 2, one was Spotify. Back to
streaming music.
It does make me, I miss
that's fair.
The days of you would have to go and listen to a CD soundtrack, or you knew the CD you were going to buy, so you had enough money.
Or you got a mixtape from John Martin.
John Martin. That, the specialness around music, I guess, is kind of lost, but having the library of more music, I guess, is good, because I've probably discovered artists I would have never, ever, ever touched or heard of.
That is what I was going to say. The discoverability that comes with it. Where now, when there's new music that comes out on Friday, I can go into my music app and I can be like, all right, I'm going to check out 5 or 6 of these artists just to see if I like their stuff. You would never do that when you had to buy physical media, because I'm not going to spend $12 on buying a CD or a tape or whatever, whatever point in time you were doing that. I'm not going to spend the money to buy something from a band that I've never heard of. Know if I'm going to like.
Exactly.
Now you don't have to, because if you can stream it, and if you don't like it, that's fine. You just delete it and move on. Or if you love it, great.
Or what I like about Spotify too, and I think I just learned this year, is when I used to hear a song, if I was at the mall or somewhere, I was like, oh, I like this song. I would try to memorize some of the lyrics. And if I had a piece of paper, I would write it down. Or if I could find paper, smartphone, you could put it in your notes app. Right. And then you'd have to go home and try to search, okay, the lyrics said this, and this. What song is this? Now it's you can type those lyrics into Spotify and it'll find that song for you.
That's pretty cool.
And then my last bit on that, I showed my dad Spotify recently. He's been a big guy. Anytime he hears a new song, he pulls up YouTube in his phone browser and tries to search and find the song. So I was like, Dad, I really want you and Mom to have Spotify, because you don't have to do that. You just go in.
Life can be so much better. Yeah,
it really can.
Is there a family plan you could add them to? Apple Music has a family plan that we've got my mother-in-law is on it, and
I got all the kids on ours.
And my wife or whatever, we're all on the same plan together.
I think I might do it, because they also just upgraded their phones, and they have a normal iPhone. They've had iPhone 4s for the longest time.
Wow.
So I'm this is a perfect opportunity to get you guys all up
since
to
you
speed.
upgraded.
There you go.
Yeah, so maybe I'll gift them that for
I'm surprised
Christmas.
that Spotify doesn't have, well, I guess Apple Music doesn't technically have this either, but on my phone now, I've got Shazam built in.
Built in.
Oh, yeah.
I've got it set up.
It's a widget.
I can tap. I can literally back tap my phone Shazam opens up. Here's the music that's playing. I do this all the time when I'm watching like TV shows. You know, there's always great, cool music in TV and movies and stuff. Yeah. And it'll just say like, this is the song, and then you can just immediately like add it to your Apple Music right there.
Nice.
I think that's amazing.
That is amazing. That is cool. So amazing. Yeah.
It's just it's so cool.
Yeah. The AI.
And then my last bit that kind of wraps into that is just Bluetooth. Whoever invented, and I was gonna like deep dive on this, like and find the history.
Right.
I didn't, but like Bluetooth, just connecting your phone to your car, connecting your phone to headphones, a speaker. Wow, who did that? And we're still using it. Like it's. I mean, I don't know how much you all use Bluetooth, but I connect to everything, like a watch and
Yep.
Bluetooth wasn't the one that was founded by the that actress. What was her name?
What?
Hetty something or other. Hang on. No, I think she came up.
Look.
There was something else like that she came up with, but it wasn't that. I don't think.
Like Bluetooth is like, I think it's been around. Go ahead.
Oh, it was invented by Dutch electrical engineer Jaap Hartsen while he was working for Ericsson in Sweden.
That sounds about right.
During the 1990s.
Yeah. Hedy Lamarr, that was her name. Was a famous actress back in like the early 20th century.
Okay.
And she came up. I think she came up with like some early versions of what essentially became Wi-Fi.
Ah, yes.
Oh, okay.
I think that sounds familiar.
Like something about
radio waves in some way.
Exactly. There was something. I think we've talked about it on an episode before. It may have come up in Tech Trivia once upon a time. So.
Yep.
Shout out to Intel. An Intel engineer proposed the name Bluetooth in 1997. Inspired by the 10th century Danish king Harald Bluetooth, who united Scandinavian tribes.
Hey, there you go.
Okay, hey, I've always wondered where that part of that came from.
Dun, 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 dun. Had to throw in the audio branding
you get paid
there.
For that?
I do. Every time I do it, I get a little residual.
That's nice. As Dean looks at his banking app, and he's like, "There it is. There's those 2 cents that Intel's giving me." All right, Dean. What else are you?
Well, the only two, the only two I'm going to add in here, and one of them it's auto lights. So I have, some of my lights are automatically turn on in the morning, which is where I'm really thankful for it because, you're bleary eyed in the morning and fumbling around trying to find lights. I walk out of the bedroom and we already have lights on. So, I've triggered that. And I know that's not really a technology because there's the old timers, that you would plug in. It's like,
but you can do smart home sensors and stuff now. Is that what you have?
No, I just have smart outlets that I can program to have them turn on at certain times. Cool. So I like that.
I've never really done that like with just general house lighting. Like I always do it. Like we have outdoor lighting that I've got set up on a smart plug, for that to come on. And at Christmas time, I always have all the Christmas stuff set up on smart plugs to turn on, and off at certain times of the day or whatever. But I haven't messed with it yet with just general lighting.
No, it's good because you're trying to fumble your way down the stairs or whatever after we've already got the lights on and stuff. So it's nice.
I have like in my kitchen.
I haven't killed myself because of it.
Well, that's
nor
good.
have I fallen.
In my kitchen, we have like under cabinet lights in the kitchen, so I always leave those on overnight. It's always like the default light that's in there. So there's always some kind of light out there.
Well, we're not wasting energy like you. We just.
Okay, true. You're just wasting leftovers, but not wasting energy.
That's fair. That is totally fair. The other one I have is electronic drums, and I think that's a little bit more for my family because it's not a daily thing that I go in and play there. But when I do, you can throw on the headphones. So all you hear is just drumsticks
you
hitting.
Hear it, but they don't.
Then they don't hear it, and it's so awesome.
That's handy.
You can throw on, and you can play music. So now I can drum 2 songs, which when you have an acoustic set. The only way you can do that is throw in a boombox behind you.
Right.
Just cranking the volume to 11. Yeah. This one's called 11. You got to go to 11 because your drums are so loud. You got to overdo that volume. So now you've just created this super loud environment that anybody within a block of your house is like, oh, Dean's drumming again. Yeah, great. But now with the headphones, there you go.
I feel like there had
I'm in my own world.
A parent somewhere who discovered these electronic drums. Yes. Like they was tired of listening to their kid beating the drums in the basement, for hours on end. So.
Some wife of an engineer. Frank, go figure this out and make that electronic.
I wish someone would have figured that out with trumpets because I'd hear my brother practice trumpet every day of high school because he was he was always competing for first chair in band.
Oh boy!
So every day I was like when he would get home from school until we ate dinner.
Yes,
and we couldn't close him in any room.
He was probably pretty good, wasn't he?
He was very good, but very annoying.
Yes, I understand totally.
Especially if that's not what you want to listen to every day.
Yes, and trumpets are just it's a
it's
nice
loud.
sound in musically inclined
with other instruments.
But
But
he
on
would
its own, not so
he would
much, yeah.
practice like little bits, and then he'd practice a little bit again, and then he'd practice it the third time. And you're like, stop it! Like I know you have to, but it's so annoying. And like my parents wouldn't let us sit. They're like, he wants to be first chair. He's practicing. Okay,
You should have thrown leftovers at him.
I should. Well, I ate my leftovers, Dean. So there weren't any left over.
Got it. Yeah. What's on your list, John?
All right, I got a couple extra ones to throw out here. I'm going to go back to us talking about the smartphone thing because I think we're all Apple folks, right? Like you've got an Apple phone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
The Apple ecosystem is one of the things I have fallen in love with. I think I've mentioned this before, but back in the day, I had been taught to not like Apple, to stay away from Apple. Like,
oh, really?
All my friends who were big computer geeks,
Anti-Apple,
who like built me my first PCs
Yes,
and stuff
right,
or whatever,
yeah.
were just like, Apple's the devil. Don't mess with
What
them.
was
Don't
their
ever use a Mac.
reasoning?
I have no idea. I really don't know.
just
Like,
because you couldn't do what he just did, build a computer. Like
maybe that was it. Maybe
you
that
know,
was it. Yeah,
you can't do that. You just,
I guess
buy
so.
an Apple.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
So when I finally, like my first smartphone was an Android. It was like the Droid 2 or something like that. We're talking like late 2000s, I guess.
Droid.
Yeah. And that was actually my text sound for a while too. So finally I got myself an iPhone and I was like, well, this is cool. And then, I got into stuff like, I got an iPad and learned to absolutely love an iPad. I got the Apple TV box, set box, love that. Then finally, when I came here to BlueStar, and everyone's like, you need a Mac. And I'm like, I've never really used the Mac before. Got the Mac, and I'm like, well, the Mac's fantastic too. But what I think really makes me happy about it all is how the connectivity of all of it works. How I can be doing something on my phone, and it will work on my Mac or on my iPad. I love I can pull my Notes app up here. Talking about the Notes app. I can type something in my Notes app, and then a few hours later, get on my phone, and it's right there waiting for me on the phone as well. I think still one of my absolute favorite things to be able to do is copy and paste from one to the other. I love that I can copy something on my phone, paste it straight into my Mac. Have you tried that yet?
No, I haven't tried that yet.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You can do it anytime.
That's
Same with
cool.
your iPad, whatever
You'll have
it
to
is.
show us that offline.
Like you can just I can just have some text and I can be like copy and then go to my whatever I want it, wherever I want it on my Mac and just paste it and it'll just be a quick little message like pasting from John's iPhone 14.
Yes. Wow.
And bam, it's there.
That's cool. It is brilliant how they make it so user friendly across all their devices. That's clearly one advantage they have.
Yeah. And
No
then
doubt
the last thing
about it.
I'll add, another Apple product, because apparently we're just touting all things Apple here. Our friends at Intel probably won't be
really.
excited about that. But the AirPods Pro.
Yeah.
We were just talking about music. I've been someone who's been an avid fan of listening to music most of my life. And then I got into podcasts back when I had a job where I had a long commute. And that's when I got into podcasts. So I love listening to those. But I like to be able to listen to things while I'm doing things. To me, the most mundane activities of life are made better if you're listening to music or listening to a podcast. When I'm cleaning, working out, whatever it is. If I don't need to be talking to somebody and listening to people or actively engaging in something, I've got my AirPods in. I'm doing what I do when I work all the time. Like if I'm not hyper focused on something or whatever, I'm listening to a podcast. If it's something where I need to be focusing on my work, I do music all the time. Always got these things in. I just love them. I just think they work well. They have a great sound to them.
So you have the noise canceling ones?
Yes. But that's been the thing too, is like as they've evolved them over time. Like I've been through several generations of them now.
The noise canceling is unbelievable.
It really is.
I don't understand that
Freaks me out.
technology.
It's amazing.
Does it?
It's amazing on an
It's so
airplane.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Because I'm like, I don't know what's happening around me.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a fire.
I typically try to leave mine on like adaptive
mode is really good.
where it's meant to kind of block a lot of sound out. But if there's like loud noises or if someone's trying to talk to you, it tones it down so that you can get that inputs. And
it's brilliant on an airplane.
it really is.
Like it
very
cancels
much so.
everything, but when the pilot comes on, you can hear the pilot talk.
Yeah.
But then the pilot goes away. Yeah, it's really brilliant.
I just absolutely love them, and now they're making them like where you can use them as like a kind of a rudimentary. What's the word I'm looking for? Hearing aid. You can use for hearing.
Yes.
We bought a pair for my mother-in-law, and she's been using them as her hearing aids now. And heck of a lot less expensive than going out and buying hearing aids, prescription hearing aids.
Oh my Lord, thousands of dollars.
And yet she's getting a lot of the same benefit. But now there's the newest version that I don't have yet, but the newest version has translation now. So now someone can speak to you in their language, and as long as it will translate into your ear. And then if they're using them too, and you speak back, they could potentially hear you back, translate it back to them as well.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Just a handy device.
Does that work on kids like this? Little boys speak right now is
6, 7.
Apparently slang amongst the I'll call it early teen boys is like a different language.
Yeah.
There's
that would be nice.
There's a really good Key and Peele skit about translation. It's
nice.
It's funny. I'll have to talk about it offline, but they do.
Well, they had I remember the Obama's translator. That
one's good.
That was
they
fantastic.
did another one. I can't remember. I don't think it was 2 particular people. I think it was just a scenario. But yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, so there we go. That's some of the day-to-day personal life tech we're thankful for. Now let's quickly talk about some of our professional tech that we were thankful for. I'll go ahead and kick this one off real quick.
Yes, please do.
So you mentioned FaceTime earlier. I do think video conferencing in the work world has become a game changer. Because again, I remember back in the day being in sales where if you wanted to talk to someone, I had to pick up a phone and talk to them if I wanted to have a conversation. Now I like that you can do that over video. And mostly I like it because of the multitasking options it offers you. So that if you're in a meeting or something, and maybe it's not in a part in the meeting that's super important to you, you can be multitasking, but you're still present kind of. Or when you're talking to someone, you can be taking notes, or you can be looking things up, you can show them things, I think it's just been a great way to bridge connectivity between folks, especially in remote areas or wherever you are.
For sure.
Obviously, it kind of lends itself into the remote work aspect that popped up in the COVID era. But I just think now even as people are working in the office, it's still a pretty common practice to do the video conferencing. The only downside I will say is when you are in the office and trying to be on a video call with someone. It can sometimes background noise can be a little problematic with that. So that's something maybe some of the future platform can make a little better way of tuning out some of that.
Yeah, even when they say they're it's canceling out noise, it's not.
No,
it's picking up every single thing that's happening around
you. Not as effectively as it could. Someone's going to figure out a way to make that a lot more effective, and that will be.
They just need to talk to Apple. Apple's got it. They know. They understand how to do it. Yeah, they must have an algorithm or something like that.
And then the other thing I thought on the professional side is Grammarly. We've talked about this on the show before too. And again, I'm a guy who is very adept at spelling and very adept at grammar, and is not someone that I thought would need something like this or find it beneficial. I will say there's a lot of people that should and people that don't and should be using it.
That'd be me.
I wasn't going to say anything. But since I installed it for myself, I've found it to be an incredibly useful tool. To and not even so much the fixing your writing. If if you're someone who doesn't have any issues with spelling errors or punctuation errors or whatever, it's just also just to help you sometimes make messages much more clear and concise. I could type up an email and it could say hey, here's a slightly better way to say this that sounds a little more confident or a little bit friendlier. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. I probably shouldn't sound like I'm just telling someone what to do. I'll make it, you can throw in that please if you want in there. So it's stuff like that I feel is very useful. But again, it's also a handy editorial tool. If you are someone that is, does a lot of writing, it can be just a way to help you hey, again, I know that I'm someone who can be very wordy in my writing. I've had to adapt and learn how to tighten things up in the marketing world sometimes. Brevity is, it can be important. And sometimes grammar to be hey, this paragraph you wrote here, we can make that 2 sentences and say the exact same thing. And yeah, you're right. I know. Dang it. Yeah. And then you just click and it's done. And it does it for you.
Yep.
That's my 2 on the professional side.
I like it a lot. I like AI, so one of mine was AI, obviously, and Grammarly's in there, but I now use it on a daily basis. It makes me faster. I can create things faster. I can research things faster. I hate to be the one who brings it up on the table, but because it's AI is everywhere, but it is something that is making the professional life that much easier. From there, I'm going to ladder up though, because I remember a world where we didn't use computers all the time in our professional lives. I'm really thankful for software, just software. I know that sounds absurd,
very generic, but
when
okay,
you think about it, Grammarly is a software.
Are you getting ready to roll into a pitch for the Technic program?
Nope.
here?
Grammarly is a software. Word is a software. It's like, where would we be if we didn't have software?
That's very true.
And
That's a good point.
I've heard the description of programmers, so I'm thankful for programmers. Programmers are like sculptors, and they chisel out functions by the art of using code. And when you think about it, they are. Because if you actually looked at code, have you ever looked at code?
It's nuts.
like,
It's weird.
what are we doing
It's like a
here?
foreign language,
What? It's
basically,
completely a foreign language that you have to understand. So I'm thankful for that because it enables us to do so many things. Everything we talked about on the apps on our phones to whatever. And I remember, I started my professional career where you didn't really have that. It was a lot of still analog. Everything was analog. So I'm very I know that's kind of really, really high level, but I love me some software.
All right,
dang it. There you go.
I love the telephone.
I love the phone and the fax machine.
Great.
Come on now.
And have you heard about this thing called the internet?
So what does make
What about
your
you, Sarah?
professional life easier?
Oh gosh, and I hate to say it because we know it can get overwhelming, but email, honestly, I'm very organized in email, but also I hate, when you have those days where all you're doing is you got tons and tons of emails and you got to get through them. But my favorite part about emails too is one, you can go back to it later. It's not like a text message or someone's going back and forth. You can
searchable.
It's searchable. You can kind of screen it like caller ID. You're like, this email from Dean. I'm not going to answer that one.
That doesn't seem too urgent. Yeah.
What's this email from Dean about software?
Yeah.
I'll wait on that
one.
Yeah.
Touche. Yes.
And then kind of AI, and I'm typical. I'll talk about Cordy's girlfriend, ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah.
So
He just fast forwarded the podcast at the end. I was like,
he's like, oh no, I don't want to hear this. But honestly, I have kind of almost quit completely searching. Well, I can't say that because it's still.
What?
I've quit searching on Google.
Yeah.
If I really I just want an answer to a question.
Oh, I see.
I don't want sponsored posts. I don't want other fill.
Yep.
I just want ChatGPT to tell me
that's fair.
one thing. I want to ask you one question. What is it? And I don't know. And I think that the guy at Vartech might have talked about it in his speech. I guess for at least now, they're never gonna monetize ChatGPT. So it's like if Walmart wanted to make sure their stuff showed up, right now it's very still just open AI, it's basic stuff.
Yep.
right.
But the fact I can go there, I get a couple paragraphs. I'm like, okay, that's all I wanted. And then I can go back to whatever I was doing.
Yep.
Or the same with emails where I'm like, hey, how could I say this? I need to say this to someone who is in sales. So how can I make this make more sense to someone in sales versus someone in marketing? Or how should I talk to
As
this?
a marketing folk, there's some jokes we could throw in there, but I'm just gonna let them go. I'm sure, because a lot of our audience are salespeople, so I'm not gonna touch that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but just how do I say this so they'll interpret it well, or how will they understand this? So using ChatGPT just for simple questions I want answered, and I don't want to be going through one article in Google. Really, unfortunately, emails and ChatGPT are my big things that helps. I mean, helps.
And that is why the Google gods are shaking in their shoes right now, because people just don't use Google like they used to.
No.
Because you can just go to any of these LLMs and you're just your questions are that's all you need.
And people aren't buying space to say, well, I want my answer to this to be first. And I know Google does an AI overview, but sometimes even that I'm
That's a little janky sometimes.
That's not really answering what I was trying to ask.
Yeah.
Let me just go to ChatGPT. And so I've just gotten in more of a practice of having ChatGPT open in a browser. And when I have a question,
you just go right over there.
Yeah. Or even just simple stuff. The other day, I had a big piece of salmon and I was like, this is a bigger than, and I didn't know the ounces. I was like, how long should you bake a bigger than normal piece of salmon? And it's how would you put it in at 425 for 20 minutes and check? Okay, great. That's all I want to do. I don't want recipes popping up from all these people telling me how I should cook salmon.
Yeah.
No,
Buy it at Trader Joe's.
Yeah, exactly. Get it here. This is the best salmon.
Yeah, exactly.
This salmon cooks at 375 for the. No, I don't want your recipe on. I just want to know. Okay, cool. I'm gonna throw it in the oven. Yeah.
Can we go back to your unnatural love for email real quick? Do you have folders along the side? I mean, are you like super organized?
I'm folders.
That's why every time you ask me for something, I've got it.
Is it by person or is it by
That's
category?
why he missed the cue sheet, you know?
So you have it by person? You have like folders for...
I do like for like the people on my team and like, you know, like certain types of projects, you know, like I've got like a folder for the podcast. I've got one for like webinars and different projects I'm working on.
My folders have subfolders that have subfolders.
Oh, wow.
And they're very different. So like I have a folder for like John and Cordy because there's very specific things that you all do that it's like I'm just gonna that'll be in here. I'll just reference it, or you guys will answer a question. I'm like, oh, if I get that question again, I'll just go to this folder. But then I have like VARTech. I have it broken down by what goes on at VARTech, and then I have it by the years of VARTech because I'm like, well, this goes under this year.
VARTech
Or like specific projects, and then I have folders that are broken down by vendors, and they're broken down under vendors by what the project types are.
Oh my Lord!
I would be lost if I could never file stuff away. I know you can search it. But that would give me terrible anxiety. So,
and you know, and you also know when you talk to that person that doesn't have a filing system.
No, that's me.
It's very clear.
That's me. It's very clear that I do not. I have a couple folders, but it's like, hey, you remember that email? Oh,
Dean's got to reach out to me and say like, hey, can you send me this thing?
Again?
I can't seem to find it. And I'm like, well, if you just scroll up like 3 days in your chat, it's right there. But
yes.
Or every now and then I will give that sarcastic response.
Yes,
but most of the day I just go,
and it's well deserved. Yes.
Mostly I just send it to you again.
Or I'll be passive aggressive and I'll say, see the attached email that I sent on 10/14. It's right here. Thank you. Let me know if you need anything else.
You know, that's another thing about email that's nice is the receipts. You know, like it's you can point to someone and be like, hey,
the digital archive.
There was a point where I told you this.
Breadcrumb, yes.
Right.
That's so true. Exactly. So true. So true.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Fair enough.
Good stuff. All right. Well, there we go. That's what we are thankful for in the world of technology. I just wanted to quickly reflect on the fact that we are at 250 episodes of this podcast. It started off as the Tech Connect podcast, now BlueStar Nation. We've been at this since early 2020 is when we started.
Did you happen to go back and look at the first episode, sir?
Not just today, but I have every now and then I do, and they're painful to watch. It's very painful to watch some of the old episodes.
It's a little painful, not that
just
painful.
A personal thing for me, like
you know. But what's so weird about it is like we had planned on doing the podcast. We started buying, we started mapping out, and then the pandemic hit. Yeah. So it was like, oh, what? And it
became a good opportunity to create some content, which people were looking for at that point.
For sure. Yeah. But I recommend people to go back and look at that first one because it starts out like we just bumbled through it. Like, hey, like we're here. How you doing?
Welcome to the podcast. We're going to talk about stuff. Yeah.
So did you guys have
Cordy
a cue
was there.
sheet?
I don't know that we did.
Sheet?
Probably.
Dean probably couldn't find it in his emails.
I probably could not. Yeah. But it was Cordy. It was on marketing. So
which
that was
I
the
think
topic.
was a smart choice for our first one because
very smart.
You don't have to tell Cordy anything. You don't have to prep him in any way. You just show up and be like,
run.
"Hey, I'm going to ask you a question about marketing." He's like, "Oh, I got this." You know, like that made it easier.
That did. Yeah.
But I remember we did because we initially released a batch of 4 episodes when we rolled this out, and I think it was summer of 2020 when we officially rolled out the podcast, and we had 4 episodes to start, a couple internal ones, a couple with guests. And of course, we were doing all the stuff remotely, at that point as well, obviously. And I think we had one that we'd actually recorded in-house, like in our homes.
Yes. Of course we did, yes.
Because I think one of us may have been exposed to COVID or had it or something. So we had to actually do some recording from the house, which is, I think, maybe only twice that's ever happened. Happened during that time.
Yeah. Isn't that unbelievable? We've been in the studio this whole time.
Yeah. We've gone through iterations of the studio, which I want to shout out Marco.
Absolutely.
He's been the producer behind the scenes.
Marco.
For the entire podcast. Every once in a while you get to hear his voice on the show, but he built this amazing new set for us. He makes sure we're always up and running. He makes sure all the episodes
new set. We've been here for 2 years, bro.
That's true. It's not new anymore. Time's a flat circle in the podcast world.
Funny story. So Caitlin saw an old episode of the podcast the other day, and she said, "Whose living room is that in?" And I said, "That's the old podcast studio." And she's like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, whose living room? Yeah. That checks out, man. Yeah, because it was just like 4 tables.
2 lights in the corners.
Yeah.
And you had just the conference.
Yeah, all that stuff's in Cordy's office now, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh wait, that's where it started.
Yeah.
No,
That
there's
table.
lights.
Oh, there's lights. Okay.
Actually, the tables went over there too, didn't
Table
they?
is that table that he
And
has.
now he's like, so he's turned
All
those
of that
tables.
is old podcast
The two
stuff.
lights in the corners of his room both came from the studio.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he stole it
I don't know
all.
why he got all of our crap. but
Exactly, right?
There you go.
Wait a minute. How'd that pan out? I don't know. I think Marco had something to do with that. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, he's
But
shaking
lots
his
of
head
great
no.
episodes, lots of good education, right? We wanted to come into this thing so
Yeah.
we could educate people,
Yeah.
get them trend information and stuff like that. Think of all the guests that we've had throughout the years. We're just blessed to have them, humbled by all the people that have hopped on here and said, you know what? Yeah, I'll hop on a podcast. Who are these guys again? But yeah, okay, we'll give it a go.
Yeah. People
And they
show
all-
up, they don't know what to expect. I feel like once
They
we
all
get
turn
into
out.
it, they all, people get it and they have fun with it and they enjoy it.
And you and I have talked about this. Like, we'll go into some podcasts like, I don't know, this topic or this isn't really, but somehow we make it, enlightening and still a good.
Not every
good
topic
episode.
sounds like it's going to be the sexiest one, but you get
That's
there
right.
and you're like, hey, you know what? You get the right guest and have some good rapport. And for that matter, I want to shout you out, Dean. I appreciate you as my ride or die co-host on this
Well,
show.
yeah, but I'm not there and as much anymore.
Well, I know, but the episodes that you're not on, I feel it. Like it's
yeah, I know, bro.
You and I have a nice rapport
We
here.
do.
You know,
We do.
like it
Yep.
works.
Yep.
You know, like
Yep.
say there.
We've carried it out on
I may have to
stage.
do some without you from time to time,
Yeah,
but
that's
I
fair.
think it's worked out. I appreciate
Right
it.
back at you, brother.
sad.
Right back at you.
Aw.
Now, if just in case you're thinking this sounds like a beginning of an end kind of
no.
conversation, it's not.
Oh, no.
We have no plans. Dean's gonna have to
They're
pry this
just thankful.
podcast out of my cold dead hands. Probably.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Or I will hit a point myself where I'm just like, I'm done. I can't think of a better way to talk about RFID this week. Come on, But as far as I'm concerned, the next episode is just the start of the next 250.
Absolutely, it is.
So
Yep,
there you go.
Yep.
So thanks to all of you who watch and listen and send us emails and tell us what you like to hear about.
Do more of that.
Do
Yes.
more of that, please. And we'll talk about that more in a moment. Before we get to that, I want to quickly let you know what's happening around BlueStar Nation. Look, there's BlueStar's webinar series. It's a great way to learn about the trends, the new tech, opportunities to expand your business with a variety of our partners and channel experts. Recent webinars include an overview of TSC's Bluebird product line, how to utilize BlueStar's networking connectivity team, smarter labeling practices for QSRs, lots of great stuff we're putting out there. Our next webinar discusses the prosumer shift in mobility and how to position enterprise-grade solutions in a consumer device world, as we've been sitting here talking about how much we love all of our devices.
Yes.
You can find and register for future webinars and watch previous presentations at bluestarinc.com under the events tab, or go directly there from a link in our show notes. Highly recommend you sign up for these. There's lots of good stuff out there. And hey, if you've got interesting ideas for webinars, let us know. I'd be happy to reach out to our
Absolutely.
partners and figure out what they're interested in. I want to try to do
For
maybe
sure.
some more webinars next year that are just kind of us here at BlueStar talking about some stuff too. So please send us those ideas. While you're doing that, though, take a moment and send some ideas in for this podcast. Also,
Yes.
what do you want to hear about? What can we drag Sarah back on here to talk about? She's game for
I
pretty
don't
much
know much
anything.
about anything.
You know a lot about a lot. Yes.
Well, always happy to have smart guests on here. So if you know people you want to recommend to us, please do that. If you have ideas you want to hear about on the show, please do. Leave us comments down in there, below the video, or like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Recommend us to a friend, share us with a colleague that you think would be interested in an episode. Check out our BlueStar Nation blog, and again, reach out to us anytime on LinkedIn or email us directly, nation@bluestarinc.com. All right, I wanted to wrap up here before we get into our what's on our radar. With we reached out to some of the good folks around the channel and around our office.
Yes.
Actually, I take no credit for this. I just pitched the idea. Marco filmed a bunch of this stuff.
Nice.
Sam also filmed a bunch of stuff too.
Even better.
We've had some of our vendors that were in for a tech day. And
All right.
talk with some of them. Got some folks around the office, so I appreciate their work on that. And I created a little sizzle reel of some of the responses that we're going to throw it to right now.
Hello, BlueStar Nation. Well, this season I find myself especially grateful for my Skylight calendar. Not only is it a touchscreen, which makes it very convenient to scroll into 2026 as I make those preparations, but it also has an app that allows me to add or make any adjustments to plans directly from my phone. As a wife and a mother with a lot of schedules to keep straight, especially during the holidays, this has been my saving grace.
The tech that I am most thankful for this year is for Microsoft Copilot. Very excited about it. I use it every single day since it was actually introduced.
GPS. And just a little story behind that, if you think back to the time before GPS, I was printing out MapQuest maps and trying to read them in my car while I would drive. So I am very thankful for GPS.
My Garmin watch, which I left in my car and I'm lost without it.
I'm thankful for my monitor. Without my monitor, I couldn't game the way I game. I get good frames per second and also good game speed. Just overall good experience using the Samsung monitor if you're curious.
I'm thankful for remote start so my car's warm when the weather's cold.
I am thankful for Roku sticks because they make my life much easier when I'm streaming TV.
I am thankful for my robot lawnmower. It has changed my life.
I'm really thankful for my pool cleaning robot, the Dolphin. Works great and it's really easy on me.
I am thankful for the feature in iOS on the iPhone that automatically fills in like two-factor authentication or access codes so that I don't have to copy and paste between the texting app and the other web browser or whatever.
360-degree cameras. I know they're not necessarily the latest, newest thing, but what I'm doing right now is archiving family memories using a 360 camera. So my family gets together a lot, and I've been sticking this 360 camera in the middle of the room, just recording for as long as I can, with the idea that 20, 30 years down the road, if I want to relive family memories, I could take those files, put them on like an Oculus or some kind of a 360 VR camera and kind of relive the memories.
Happy holidays to everyone listening.
All right, there you go.
Nice.
I was just curious from you guys,
fun.
did anything stand out there? Anything you want to comment on in some of those responses? Because that was pretty good stuff.
Solid ones.
It really
in there.
was.
Yes, some echoes of what we had. Yes.
Yep.
What's a robot lawnmower?
Well, I'm drawn to that too.
is
If
the
you
one
notice,
that
that was
stood
the
out
two
to me.
IT guys, or two of our tech guys.
yeah.
We're into the robots. The
Yes.
robot lawnmower, robot pool
I feel like I
cleaner.
need to go talk to John
The
because
Dolphin.
I've been hearing about the robo lawnmowers for a while, but I've never met anyone that actually is using
I have a
one.
neighbor that has one.
And I'm very curious about that particular. Although, again, I think I mentioned this on the pod before. It's also kind of thing I'm a little bit annoyed by because if I get one of those things and then my son never has to learn how to mow the lawn,
Yeah,
I'm like,
true.
I kind of feel like that's
Look
like,
at you hanging on to that. It's
I
like
know.
a paper route.
It's like a bit of a
I want my
cop-out.
son to have a paper route too.
Yeah. like, come on, you should know what it's like to go out there and sweat.
Exactly.
And push that mower around.
Yes.
And,
You get your shoes all green and
run out of gas halfway through. And have
Yeah.
to go fill it up again, and
He sounds as old as I do at this point. Yeah.
Goodness.
My love for
so
software.
That one definitely stood out to me. And then I also it's hard to agree on the Apple two-factor authentication.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was a brilliant one.
I do
Yeah.
love that when you get that
Yeah.
text. Like you'll get that text and you just go and you don't have to go to the text. You just like, hey, do you want to put this in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Found this in your email. Found
Yep.
this in your text. You want to put that in?
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Mike Monticello's with the 360. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that was so
That's
cool.
brilliant.
Yeah.
He's already thought so far downstream, like, I'm just going to
Yeah.
pop it in an Oculus because
Yeah.
of course we're all going to live in a VR world. So, and then
Well,
I
we
can
get our
just have
Star
this
Trek
experience.
holodeck
Like,
in the
Hey,
future,
there's
yeah.
Grandma. Yeah, exactly. Right.
God, that is a really good point.
brilliant.
That's the kind of thing
really,
like
really
I
brilliant.
probably should. That's probably something I should invest in. Like
Yeah.
for some of these family gatherings.
He's too smart.
He is. That was a very
That was really
smart and very sweet and thing
Yeah,
to do for your
absolutely.
family.
Yep. Way to go, Mike. Yep.
good stuff.
He wins.
He wins. There you go.
Well, if you're not already following us on LinkedIn, make sure you do because we're actually going to post some of those as well as
nice.
some more there as well. By the way, shout out to the folks that gave us those tips here on the podcast. It was Whitney Garrity, Ruben Antonio, Larry Brown, Gina Boswell, Jeremiah, Parker Haynes, April Jones, John Haber, Ron Jones, James Cordy, and Mike Monticello.
Yeah.
In case you're
Nice
listening
group.
to the audio only, we have a great group of folks there. But yeah, go to LinkedIn. Make sure you're following us. We're going to be posting. Actually, we may have already by the time you see this, but if not, it might be the day after. We'll see. I don't know. But we're going to post some more clips of some other folks that gave us their ideas on their favorite tech that they are thankful for as well. All right, wrapping up as always with what's on our radar, the
Yes.
part of the show where we talk about tech, innovation, science, the news, business, entertainment. Yeah, it's whatever we feel like.
Yep.
Because we haven't just been rambling about enough. Let's ramble some more. So, Sarah, what's on your radar right now?
Not much, and I wonder if you guys have maybe already covered this, but I know it's kind of newer news.
Yeah.
Bye Penny.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
No
Bye Penny.
more Penny. The last one was minted on Friday of last week or Monday of this week or something. So
Pretty recent, yeah.
That's
and they
kinda
said they were
crazy.
gonna auction them off. There was 5 not iterations, but 5 pennies. I guess they're gonna keep and eventually auction them off for whatever.
Well,
probably
apparently we're
millions of
behind
dollars.
most of the world on this. We're the laggards. Like a lot of the world has eliminated the penny a long time ago.
That's
We're
right.
the 1 cent, or small
Yeah.
cent pieces. So.
We're the only ones silly enough to keep producing a 1 cent that costs 4 cents to actually make.
Yeah,
so it's
what are
like,
we doing?
what are we doing?
Yeah, I was reading an article about this where like, some Canadians are responding to it. Like, well, we did this a while back. And like, because apparently like a lot of people were like, well, what happens in the stores? Like when they're keep thinking something comes up and someone's not, trying to pay in cash now and they're supposed to get whatever. Apparently they've already got like the softwares get updated where it just automatically rounds up or down depending on how close you are to the dollar point. For folks that are using cash, so you don't have to worry about that aspect of it. Which tells me then, are we looking at a point where we just start getting rid of coins entirely? Because I know the nickel is also the other one that costs more to produce than it's worth. Now, when you go dime and on up, those are more valuable than the cost to produce. But the nickel is still one that, like the penny, does cost more to produce than its actual dollar value as
there
well.
you go. Yeah.
You know, this is terrible of me, but do younger generations know what rounding up is actually supposed to look like? Because I had to learn, I at least learned all that in school, so I know rounding up and rounding down, and when you do it, when you don't.
Right?
Do they know? Like I
don't know.
I would love to ask.
I'm going through the math stuff with my kid right now. He's getting to the point where he's
Okay.
doing a lot of math. First of all, I'm starting to experience the bizarre new math stuff where it's like just learning how to subtract.
I
There's
don't
like
like it.
60 different routes you
I
can
don't like
go
it. I don't like
to
it.
figure out how to subtract two numbers.
Yeah,
And
no.
It's like, why? Like,
No.
there's literally been points where I've been like, all right, let me read the instructions first, too, because for me to help you,
I
I've
got to
understand
relearn.
what
You have to
you're doing
relearn.
here. Like,
Yeah. That new
so
learning.
So
Yeah.
that's getting a little annoying. But yeah, I'll keep an eye out for that and see if like the idea
Yeah,
of
I don't
rounding
know if
up
they
and
still
down
teach
and-
that, but like we had to learn all that
Yeah.
in school.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
that'll be weird if the penny's gone and people are like, "Oh, I need to round out." No, this is a situation where you round up. If it's 5 and up, you round up.
So
If
that
it's
was
below 5,
I remember that was a controversy
round
too.
down.
It was like what is the 5 part? Is
5
5
always
up
goes
or down?
up.
I was always
Up.
taught up
Okay.
too.
Up.
Yes.
For sure.
Unless somehow you could go more granular to a decimal point, and if that dropped below 5, then you went
Yes,
down.
but if the decimal was like 0.55, you still went up. But if it's 0.54, yes, down. Is that what you're talking about too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, we're going deep on that.
Yeah,
That's wow.
but that's
yeah.
what scares me is if we're going to start rounding, am I going to go somewhere?
Well, that's why we're just gonna have software that does it for us.
True,
We're
that's
not
true.
gonna have to do.
We
it.
don't have
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that in your head? Calculating that. All right.
I don't know.
Because that's how
Keeps
some of
you
us
smart.
actually learned how to do.
I know.
That's how we had to
I know.
learn it.
I'm kidding. Makes you
I
smart.
I still
sure.
don't always need a calculator. I can
That's
do
right.
most, adding and subtracting in my head pretty
Yes,
easily.
yes,
So.
yes.
All right, Dean, what's on your radar?
Well, I love the humanoid robot, right? I just, I'm just waiting for one that would be able to occupy my house and do all my
it
chores.
doesn't
and stuff like
fall
that.
down as soon as it's unleashed.
Did you happen to see the Russian robot that was released? Did you see this video?
Which company was this?
The company is called I don't know what the Idol. AIDOL.
Yes, I did see this one because it was briefly featured on John Oliver this week. He made a brief clip of that video.
Gosh.
Is that the one where like after it fell, they pulled it off?
So let me give you the
Okay,
whole
I'm
thing.
sorry.
Russian's
Yeah.
first humanoid robot with artificial fell on stage in its official debut at the technology event in Moscow on November 10th. Right. So I grew up knowing like, the Russians are equals as it relates to technology and stuff like that. The robot named Idol was introduced by developers as an advanced example of anthropomorphic robotics built largely by domestic products and components, right? And as the robot was being led on stage, by the way, to Rocky, dun 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 dun, it comes out and it just tumbles and falls.
Which, do they not remember that Rocky 3 we kicked the Russians' asses? That was the whole point of that movie.
Not only did it tumble and fall, but then the engineers are like
Four, whichever
scrambling.
one it was.
They're scrambling to get this curtain in front of it. It was wildly awkward, and it's like I don't really want to poke the bear here because obviously the Russians will catch up someday and maybe even they'll dominate the world of of robotics. But on this particular one, man,
It just looked like it was drunk.
It looked like it was drunk. That's what it looked like. It had too many vodkas. So we'll put the link in the show notes. But you got to watch it because it's pretty fun.
Now, did you watch through to the end? Because the best part of it is when they literally pick the robot up and carry it off stage.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a guy who awkwardly tries to bring out a curtain.
That's what I said. Yeah. No, they try to cover it up.
I was tuning you out there for a minute.
This dude tries to cover it up with this curtain, and it's like it made it even more awkward.
And it was so, and like the curtain was all like tangled up.
Absolutely,
man. It is
a train wreck.
It is comedic.
It is absolutely train wreck. So anyway, you got to see that. What's on your radar?
All right, we've got some of the it's the end of the year, and that's when like a lot of like lists come out, or like this of the year, or this of 2025. Well, Cambridge put out their Cambridge Dictionary's Word of the Year. Their word of the year this year is parasocial. Are you guys familiar with this term?
Nope.
No.
That's probably a good thing, because
Help me.
parasocial describes a kind of unhealthy attachment and relationship to celebrities, essentially, or to people that you don't actually know but have frequent, you're a follower of them.
Yeah, that's
whether
not my
it's
vibe.
musicians, sports
That's not our
stars,
vibe.
podcasters. I mean, someone might have a parasocial relationship with us. I don't know.
All right.
But essentially the idea behind it, and it's kind of a term that's like launched off on social media, of course, is that the idea that someone who is so enamored of these people that they almost feel like they know them because they've learned so much about them in their public identity that they know them, and that maybe in some cases that these people were actually even kind of talking to them and know them in return. So a little bit of mental health, obviously, stuff that can go in that, but
a little.
Not everyone's parasocial tendencies go in, too far into the dangerous kind of mode necessarily, but could. So like a perfect example of this that they cite in this article is like when Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift got engaged. I should have said Taylor first because she's the important one.
Yes.
That when they got engaged, there's a lot of folks that felt moved by this and acted as if it was someone that they personally knew was getting engaged.
Yes,
and feel overly invested in that relationship because of that.
Got it.
So it's an interesting psychology
Parasocial.
that people have, where they feel a little overly connected to people that they follow or listen to or admire or whatever.
That makes me sad that that's the word of the year too.
Totally.
Like that means that there's too many people doing that or saying
it has become
it
too common of a concept.
Agreed.
Now the other, if you want to know some other new entrants in the Cambridge Dictionary this year, and these
if you
all
say 6, 7, I'm done.
No,
okay.
These all that'll probably be next year's. Okay. These all came straight out of the social media world. That all came straight out of like the Gen Z, I think, place as well.
All right.
Skibbity,
sure. I've heard of this. Yes.
Delulu.
No.
Means delusional.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then tradwife.
No, what's that?
It's this thing. It's especially on TikTok.
Tradwife.
It's the idea of like women being traditional wives.
Oh, okay.
And like the idea of like, getting back to
like
homemaking every meal and taking care of the kids and letting the
so is it meant to be demeaning? Or is it just descriptive?
Well, there's a whole entire subsect of like women that are in the tradwife movement that like to talk about themselves as being part of that.
Fair enough.
But then yes, there's also the flip side of it where where there's people just like come on, like what are you doing here? Trying to kind of set back feminism and women's rights a little bit here with this. There's a lot of conflict around the term. Let's put it that way, and around the ideology behind it, I suppose. So
I don't
surprising.
I don't know if it's I don't think there's a way to say I think people can use it negative or positive or
exactly.
what, but
right. But either way, it's become part of a lexicon, on social media.
Can I add a word to this I
yes.
just despise? When people are talking about okay, let's get back to parasocial, like celebrities, girlfriends and wives, calling them a wag. What?
I literally just used that term with Sam
wife
the other
and
day.
girlfriend.
It came out of the soccer world, didn't it?
Yeah. So Taylor Swift technically, I guess, would be Travis Kelce's. She's a wag. She's a part of the and they segment them. So there's NFL wags and there's
it's basically the spouses and partners of celebrities, especially in the sports world. I think that's where it mostly came out of the sports world initially.
Okay.
Yeah, but they just loop them into she's a wag. Yeah. It's just a weird.
It's like
weird.
the connotation of just
it.
they're the almost like almost treats it like an accessory of
right.
sorts.
Yeah.
Because and using that term kind of almost makes it an interchangeable thing too.
Yeah.
But there'll be like thing like, oh well, like the Wags are off at their own, little event or whatever. They got their thing going on.
Yeah, because
it's a strange term. Like
I don't know. Their whole thing about there's an article about Aaron Rodgers. He's got remarried, but he's keeping his wife like out of the public eye. It's like what she wants. It's what their relation, whatever. And so there was an article, and I guess they interviewed one of the other NFL wives, and she's like, yeah, the Wags and I just don't understand why she doesn't want to come around and like hang out with all of us. Like, we're going to be welcome. I'm like, what are we, is this what we talk about in the news now?
Yeah.
Just because she wants a private life, and you guys are like, well, she needs to join the Wags. It's almost culty.
Lord.
I don't know.
I gotcha. Yeah, clicky and culty.
Very weird.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I mean, is there an equivalent to that in women's sports? Are they, is it the, would it be the husbands and boyfriend, the Habs? Like,
the Boz. Come on, Boz. Yeah. So weird.
I don't know.
Offline, you're going to have to explain 6'7" to me, but anyway.
There is no explanation. It's nonsense.
The most annoying part of it. There's no explanation.
Oh, I see. Oh, man, I've tapped into a nerve. Okay.
No, it's just
I don't know anything about this.
Kids these days.
Got it.
Got it. I mean, I'm sure our parents probably had stuff that they were like, you guys are obnoxious. I know there was.
Yeah.
We just don't realize it, but now we're experiencing it with the children of
I don't know
of the world now. So
it was just talking like a valley girl in my age. Gag me with a spoon. Kind of. Anyway,
exactly. Yeah. All right, that does it for what's on our radar. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Sarah, thanks.
Love having you on the show.
Yep.
And for all you listening out there, despite what Dean says, you have our permission to go get another plate. You have our permission to reheat some leftovers. If you are listening to this podcast like a week later, that's fine. They're in the fridge. Just give them a quick sniff test. I promise you they're probably still good. Shout out your favorite tech when Grandma asks what you're grateful for. If you're going around the horn to the table. And
nice.
What's everyone thankful for? Like, I don't know, scream about your Apple AirPods or something.
That's right. Yep.
And hey, the next 250 episodes starts next week. So come back. We'll see you out there in the nation.